Lovely day, beautiful people. So nice to meet you here on my self-talk. Today I will share a story of a soul recovery that became possible thanks to a good reading habit. This revelation comes back to me from long and far away, when I was not just a child and my wizard, but just an extraordinary person, as all my cherished protagonists are. My parents finally agreed to let me go to an evening after-school class for little tricksters. Many elders considered it a waste of time, and W, being a lean, long-backed, stiff-necked, with great quantity of snow-white hair everywhere old weirdo, who had forsaken his daily respectable employment for a dubious occupation as a magic teacher, didn't excite a qualified approval from majority of our villagers. He was a man that turned over the leaf of his life to bring about a new happy page. He left his work after the death of his wife because he decided to fulfill his childhood's greatest dream. I was tended with his kindness and solicitude when those suspicious but respectable circumstances brought me to his care. We talked a lot, but our mute conversations were ever more precious. He became an old wizard, and I was his little assistant. His life, although realized to the full contentment of it only at the dusk of his age, was an expression of gentle, quiet happiness, organized in an orderly and neatly manner. W had a heart large enough for any three old folks as himself, and no kids of his own to bestow his devotion and love on. When his wife died, even his boots started to creak in a very sad and lonely manner. His countenance underwent a great variety of gloomy contortions. He needed to replenish the empty space, and reading books became his salvation. Now, retiring himself from work, he had enough time to spend on the things he loved, and never, prior to these days, had an opportunity to devote himself to. W had a strong appetite for science fiction, fantasy, and mystery books, and no one could dare to talk about magic without due respect. He would put an injured look right away, this topic being his favorite. W decided to heighten his cognitive abilities as well as train his brain to the craft of diverting his attention from depressing thoughts. He started his literary journey of recovery with a few books about tricks and magic by his bedside. W claimed to be out and out an expert in the art of multi-reading. He had a mood-uplifting book when thoughts about his poor wife came round. Another cheerful read saved him from getting too bored on a lonely evening. And when he felt eager to learn something new, he grasped at a great masterpiece of authorship, as he considered this book, which was a tutorial beyond wizards by an anonymous author. The intricacies of wizards' lives were always throwing W's thoughts into a condition close to delirium. One day, driving in his truck and listening to an audiobook about traveling circus, an idea corrupted his mind. At that moment, he realized how he can grasp at happiness. His childhood dream appeared less and less chimerical. When a child, W used to always talk about being a magician teacher one day. His parents grew heated with angry desperation to bring him to a sober mind, and his desire grew softer with completely healed by opposition. He started to ruminate on his old dream while listening to this audio. A glimmer of a solution came to his mind when he visited our village school performance on some occasion or other. W, holding his dream fast by the hand, talked with his old friend, who happened to be the director of our school at the time, and started an evening Young Magicians Club. Up went W's life when out and about went his little trickster pupils. And I was one of them. Let me lead you through each step of W's recovery one more time. I will summarize these principles for you. A life can be revolutionized by a good book. After some reflection, everyone would agree that it is never late to replace feeble narrow-mindedness with eagerness of perception, and that enthusiastic approach to life can be achieved by simply turning the pages of a right book. Reading about self-development, for example, a volume by the pen of Dr. Wayne Dyer, will lend fresh vigor to someone's life. This kind of literature calls into view all the blessings we have and reminds us to be grateful. A murmur of admiration is running through your essence when you read the outpouring revelations of a beautiful soul. It is so natural to triumph over life difficulties by burying yourself in the pages of a book that always makes you feel good. Anytime you feel like the world has been turned upside down, grab the thread of yours, put the world right side up, and calm your overwrought nerves. A person who walks his monotonous existence to and fro can bond to himself with the pages about lives and trials of great adventurers, like those that Jules Verne depicted. A daily renewed appetite for fresh sensation will most likely be satisfied by a detective story that Arthur Conan Doyle or Agatha Christie wrote. Anne and Charlotte Bronte, as well as Jane Austen, will put you in a fit of love and enthusiasm and excitement that will cure your wearied heart and brain. Try your utmost to master the great art of modifying the vibrations of your mood. Nowadays it is easier to be done than ever before, although our patience is getting tried more often by the speed of life. So all the better we need to become experts in self-help techniques. Download on your phone the best uplifting, funny, brain-developing, and peace-creating specimens in the literary world, and control the level of positivity by reading a little of each book at the right moment. Waiting in a doctor's office, a bit nervous. Humorous dialogues on a page are a great prescription in this case. Feeling tension after a meeting with your boss? Some meditative message will for sure open your heart for lighter feelings. Bored and lonely at home? Time to learn something new to be able to converse on interesting topics and consequently find new friends to brighten your melancholy desk hours. There is a solution for every problem that is already written by some wise man. Find a book that renews your vehemence and let your mood to be of incomparable docility when you read it. You never know beforehand when the great aha moment will visit you, so be ready to grasp at the notion of a life-changing idea, even when in motion. Plug in an audiobook when in a car, in a gym, or biking outside. This way you may be able to learn a foreign language and get a promotion at work. Or you may get better at understanding the motives that drive people to do what they do, and that will improve your existing relationship. You may find contentment in life and feel peaceful acceptance of yourself by simply doing your household chores and listening to a valuable read on tape. We have to become high-class experts in self-learning and development. Let us look facts in the face. Nowadays, our employments are too numerous, our leisure hours too precious, and that is the reason why we need to do our utmost to preserve ourselves from wasting our time on anything that tires and distresses us. Grabbing after great improving rest is an elevating self-therapy. Any life, be it a drab color or a dense color one, can be cured with a good book. It may seem a fatiguing mission to the one who didn't flip through many pages. But once you've found your own Scheherazade, life stops running helter-skelter and gets in a peaceful order. I was happy to spend that time with you today. Stop by to check my other uplifting videos and stay tuned